everyone! Welcome to the night of Sunday Night Gaming! And this week we are bringing you, hopefully, a double header. We're going to do something crazy! And we're going to try covering Sacred 2 and Titan Quest. We're going to do a brief how's it play out of both. And we're going to get right into this so I don't take up all night long for you guys. And I want to show you the character creation in both these games, so I figure it's got a valid point. The character creation in this game, Sacred 2, is vastly superior to what you'd find in Titan Quest. And each one of them actually has a unique way that they go about with the dungeon crawler genre that I really like, and I think it's worth making note of. These games are both worthy games and a lot of fun. Sacred 2 you can get from Steam for $14.99 currently, or you can find it on sale for, you know, Steam's got amazing sales. So that's just not enough. If you just wait a little bit and watch these games, put on your wish list, they'll come up. So here you have your character creation for this game, and you have you see the following characters that you can be. You have a High Elf, Temple Guardian, Shadow Warrior, Dryad, Inquisitor, and Dragon Mage. And basically we're gonna just go with the High Elf this time. And then here you choose which campaign you're going with, the Campaign of Shadow or the Campaign of Light. Some of these are locked in place, like the Seraphim can only do light and the Inquisitor can only do dark. And then you select a god, which gives you a ultimate ability, which is one of the new adds they did from Sacred 1 to Sacred 2. They added in this ultimate ability, improved graphics of course. And then they have your difficulties, your bronze, silver level difficulties, which is funny because you'll actually see that during this time frame, this 2007-2008 period, and a year or two before each one of those, that was the way that a lot of games handled their difficulty. Was either your bronze, silver, gold, etc. so forth. So it's kind of cool, and you can see it here. Character creation, you have sliders where the skin can be all sorts of colors imaginable. So we'll make this chick red. There we go. And your carrier imp, you can make him all sorts of different colors. We'll make him red too, because we're just feeling red today. But we're gonna give her crazy green hair. Now the thing with the hair color is actually these sliders are each part of the spectrum. So one's blue, one's I forget which color each one of these. Okay, so here's the blue slider, the green slider, and then the red slider. So you can actually combine, pretty much get almost any color that you pretty much want or you could think about. And then you have all the hairstyles, which take a little bit to load in. Now I don't want to spend a lot of time because we got 2 games to cover tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and just start. So this is our character. We've picked our god, which gives us a unique ultimate. We've got our difficulty of bronze. We've selected the typical difficulty, not hardcore. And we're doing the campaign of light. Let's name the character. And we're going to begin. So there's a few things that are worthy that I'm going to make a point of between these 2 games. And that's, the unique differences. Now, each game has got skills and, talents and abilities that you can use, which you typically see in these kind of dungeon crawl games. Each of them have loot. Wonderful loot, because that's what you play these games for, is the loot. And then the map is different in each one. Now, one thing that Sacred 2 has that I haven't played much else in the way of dungeon crawlers is that it's a completely open world. This map, you can go just about anywhere that you could think of, and it is huge, and there's lots of secrets hidden throughout, and it's really worth it to kind of tuck into areas that you think are not possible and like weave around it. It's really awesome, and it's totally worth doing that. So we're just gonna try getting out of this start area because I don't understand. Here's our quest giver. So that's one thing with this game that it really does well, is that part. Like, the open world map is awesome, and you can find all sorts of cool stuff. The most cool is, of course, dragons. And there are some awesome dragon fights in this game, and it's really cool in the way that they go about doing that. And the other thing that this game does well is that it's pretty much anything goes. You can pretty much, most classes can use just about anything that you could think of for an ability. I missed my chest back in town, but that's okay. We're just going to keep going through here. We'll quickly play here. So basically, your character can come into a lot of things. So if you want like a caster that is a two-hander, wields a two-hander, or maybe that's not what you're after and you're after something else, then yep, heal up. Okay, healed up. I was actually doing another one of these Let's Plays before I got it, you know, how's it play, before I got overwhelmed with that, and I wound up dying because I forgot what the healing potions do. I forgot the quick button for it, so silly me. So this game, it's the alt will basically do what most of these games do. It'll give you, you know, what an idea of the loot on the ground is. And, you know, give you all the other additional applicable stuff, like compare weapons and whatnot. Hey, don't run away from me! Come back! And then we're just going to cast Fireball. What I want to do quickly is get a level up, but I'm not sure how fast I'll be able to do that. So I can show you actually what the skill progression looks like in this game. It's quite neat. Alright, cast another Fireball. And then, also the other thing I want to show you is the right-click abilities are really cool in this game. Woo! That was close. That was so close. Click on that. Give me my health back. This guy's just like, they're just so mean. Oh, no you don't. What are you doing? Throwing your stuff at me. There we go. And you see on my mini-map, whenever there's a bad guy, it's actually got a red triangle that shows you, you know, that there's a bad guy there. Oh no. And we're getting there with the level. I'm pushing through with this. Now, the game, one thing that does, there's a couple things that are a little off with the game, which you're going to probably want to do as soon as you get in, and that's change your key bindings. They have a crazy key binding scheme to this game that just doesn't really make sense as to what it means. So, but everything is rebindable, so it's okay. It's not a problem to do that, to rebind, and I had to do that with all mine because it was really bizarre the way that they had keys. And alright, press Alt. Q is your quick pickup, allows you to pick up everything in the area pretty quickly. And I'm actually almost leveled up, and I can show you that. And then after I show you that, we can move on to Titan Quest. Actually excited about that one as well. Both games I've spent a lot of time on, and Titan Quest I've got lots and lots of good memories with. Now you'll find in this game that you can actually miss with spells, which is kind of crappy when you do. You're like, shoot, I need to hit that guy. And this game also has a it's a very pretty game, and it's got a little bit more of a darker, well, no, it's got a little bit more of a lighter touch to it than, say, Titan Quest does. Like, if I start clicking on all these, which I'm not going to, and I just got my level, you know, they have funny things with the grave. So they actually have some humor to this game, and it's kind of cool. So I'm going to show you a couple things. Inventory management's one thing, because there's a couple really unique things with this. So one, each character has his own unique inventory, like in the sense of what equipment they can have. Like the Seraphim, for example, has a slot for wings, where no one else has that. And, for example, this guy's got extra rings. And then there's mounts in this game. That's the other really cool thing. And the mounts are awesome, and they're better than just being something that gets you from point A to point B. You can actually fight from them, and you can increase like their charge, and they do a lot more damage and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And the other thing is, you notice here there is no weapon slot up here. Your weapon slots are down here. So say, for example, you get a new weapon. You're like, oh, I like this weapon. How you equip it is you drag it down here. And F1 through F5 or something is the default for your weapons. You press that to swap between the two. And I believe your skills are done by 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's kind of how it's done. Now, one thing with skills I want to bring out, this is my skill menu, and if I had multiple abilities, I missed that chest in the beginning, but even without it, I can do something else. So you have these things called combos down here, right? So you take combo 1, you're going to make a new combo out of it, and you're going to, basically, you're going to shoot 2 fireballs off with it. Can I not do that? Okay, so you might need another ability to use, and it's actually really cool. It's a built-in macro system, so if you find that 2 spells really work well with each other, you know, say for example you like a freeze spell and then you like hitting with a lightning spell, you could combine the two and then make it to a combo, and then it takes up, you know, only 1 slot as opposed to pressing, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 and, you know, carrying on forward. And then the other thing is the leveling up. This is basically all your menu. So you have your typical attributes that you level up. They pretty much are what you typically expect. Intelligence, you know, spellcasters, dexterity, range, vitality, health, stamina is, there you go, the combat arts. This stuff right down here, it regenerates faster if you have a higher stamina. Strength is melee combat, and willpower is resistance against spells. Now this is where I was telling you. So you have this whole chain here of skills, and you click set new skill, and this is basically where you can pick all sorts of goodies. I think these typically tend to be spells and abilities associated with your class, such as like this will give you more of the, you know, like this, you know, help you out with this field, that will help you out with this field, and kind of etc. so forth. And here's where I was telling you where you can choose what weapons you go with. So this character can equip pole arms, ranged weapons, magic staff, sword weapons. So you can actually make them like a pole arm wielding mage, you know, if you want to. And then armor, you can increase that so you can use more armor skills and stuff. You'll get less minuses and whatnot with it, and you'll be able to use more equipment. And then here's where I told you where you can get riding unlocked. And riding will allow you to tame a higher level horse, which is faster, stronger, and does more damage. So it's a really awesome thing. And then you have your ultimates down here too. So we're just going to quickly just press sword weapon, for example. Then we click here to upgrade the skill. And there you go. The leveling process is done as you kind of go forward and go through it. And then here you have your kind of ultimates, which they put in this game, which fill up over time. And they basically are your, oh crap card, I'm in a really bad spot and I don't know what to do and I need help. And you wind up just clicking that button or hitting the fast button for it, which I don't remember what I set for mine. So we'll just use this. Boom! There we go, and I just used it. So that's kind of how that works. So that pretty much gives a rough lowdown of how the game is played. And once again, the things that are really cool with this is the combat system in the game. The map is completely open world. You can go anywhere, and the dragons, I believe, go with your level, but I'm not 100% sure. I think in the first one, that's how they handled. So if you knew the way to the dragons, you could run there, and you could fight them, and they'd be at your level, and they'd be a really good challenge. And dragons have awesome loot, and usually they're hidden throughout this map in certain areas. So you have your map, you have your combos that you can use, and the other thing is the mounted combat is awesome, and it's useful in this game. And I think that pretty much gives you a rough how's it play for this game, and we're going to go on to Titan Quest! Alright everyone, here we are again. Well, here we are back with Titan Quest, just as I promised. And we're going to get right into this one as well. So here's the main menu. We're going to play Titan Quest. And we're going to create a new character. And this is about the limit of your creativity. So yeah. We're going to go ahead and do this. We'll make it male. And then we'll have the tunic be, I don't know, let's go with that color. Why not? And then we just create. And then the character's made. That's all there is for character creation in Titan Quest. So it's a little limited in scope as opposed to what you'd find in Sacred 2. But that's okay. It actually works out because the game's still a great game, and I mean if you're really into that unique character, you can get it with your equipment in this game. But if not, I don't know if that's really I mean if it really is your thing, then probably this wouldn't be the game for you. But if it's not, then yes, this game is great and you will not be disappointed. And this one you can get from Steam for $19.99. It just recently had a sale where it was like $10, and I was like, yay! Because I used to play this game all the time, and I spent a lot of time with good friends playing this game. The multiplayer is great and fun, and it's what you typically get with a dungeon crawler, so it's a really good experience. So here we are, running around. Yay! This guy's got our quest. It's a diamond.
Soldier.
And everything that's quest related in this game is voice acted. It's very well done, high quality. I mean, I don't think there's any quest I've given that's not the case. Now, if you talk to like a normal person, maybe not, but like yeah, this guy, I just keep clicking on him and he just keeps talking and it's all voice acted. And we're going to disable these because that could be obnoxious. And then, oh, I'm sorry, it's not diamonds, it actually is exclamation marks. My bad. Diamonds are when you haven't talked to someone. So here we are, we're going to go ahead and, oh no, his horsey! No! Save the horse! So this game is another dungeon crawler. Press Alt to see things. Now, what's really cool is this game. We're going to equip the spear because it's actually awesome. Now, this game, if you see a creature wearing something, chances are you can probably actually wind up wearing it. Now, it might be terrible, but you can still wear it. So, like, if you press and tap Alt, it'll basically auto show all the items on the ground. So we're just going to quickly do this. Hopefully, nope, no loot. So it should auto. Now, if you wind up, there's a couple things that you can do. This guy's going to talk to me. This guy's going to talk to me. Fountains are where these are your respawn points in this game. And we're going to go talk to this guy.
Stranger. Our farmers are terrified.
And, okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this, because I want to show you, because basically what happens is, anything that these guys have, for the most part, you can pick up. They're not very good quality stuff, like, what? So you just press Alt and it says, now, white is your typical non-magic, you know, nothing crazy. But if you wind up pressing, I think if it's Alt-Z or Alt-X winds up actually showing what gray items are on the ground. And what gray items are is basically just all the junk that these guys drop, like this. Here's a perfect example. So he actually dropped a rusty knife. Now, you can swap between this stuff, like, so Alt-Z basically turns that on. If you press Alt-Z again, I think it turns it off, and then Alt-X will make it where only certain ones spawn. It's something like that. You'll have to kind of mess with it a little bit to kind of get the exact wording down for these things, but it's really cool, because like I said, if you're like, I really want to just test out a bow, look at that. I can pick up one of these crummy bows, or I just want to make lots and lots of money. I can pick up one of these bows and it'll go with it. So, you know, I could wind up using it, and there you go. So, but I'm fine. The spear is actually a good start thing, and we'll get more into the character creation, the inventory management here in a little bit. I like trying to level up and kind of show you guys how that works, kind of along the same lines as the other one. Now, the big difference in this game, it is more of a darker game, we'll say. A is also your quick pickup. Like, it takes itself pretty seriously. There's not a lot of comedic value in this game, which you can find with a lot of other ones. So it's you know, worth recognizing that. It's got a really amazing story, so it's actually phenomenal, and it's all based in Greek mythology, and they get into Babylonian mythology and some other things like that. So it's really cool, and I like it, and especially if you're into that time frame of like the Spartans and things like that, this is definitely the game to go to for that, because it's great. They cover it all like just amazingly well, and it's cool. I like it. And the story is good, and you go to all the different sceneries. It's actually a really beautiful game with the different sceneries in it. You like go to ancient like Babylon and China and Egypt, and then eventually with the expansion you wind up going to the underworld there to fight Hades and all that. It's really cool, and we just leveled up, so that's awesome. That's actually where I wanted to get to. So here's how the leveling works in this game. So the other one, like, you pretty much picked your class at the start, and that was your class. Now this game, you will wind up picking your class as you move along in the game, and I cannot seem to remember. So here's a map. Oh man. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Playing too many games lately. I'm getting mixed up as to what the quick buttons are. Okay, so it's S. Oh, that was embarrassing. Alright, so here is ultimately what you kind of start defining your class as. And they have a wide series of these things. Storm, they give you a brief thing of kind of what it does. You can make a guess kind of by this. You know, defense is probably high defense, tanky type character. Nature does healing and summons wolves and things. Hunting is archery and spear, and you know, it kind of goes on. You can kind of get an idea of how it works. So this is where you start defining your character. And then when you get to level 8, I believe it's level 8, then you get to select a second one, which technically gives you a title of something else, but you're still kind of just building your way through 2 fields. So we're going to go with nature. And you get 3 points each round, and you have to balance it between the actual nature mastery level, which as this goes up increases, unlocks as you go up, and also your ability stuff. So we're just going to go with the wolves for now. And then when I get to level 8, I get to select another one, and then I have to balance and jump between the two, but it gives you a unique title depending on what you wind up, choosing. So this guy, for example, is just a wanderer because I just picked the nature, and that's all there is. And you always get 2 attribute points as you level up. Now, that's kind of important because a lot of these weapons, it requires a pretty high count in some things. You see some of these required strength 50, required dexterity 50, so there's requirements of both that you need to meet. And some are just like intelligence, some are, strength. You get the picture of how it works. So we're just going to go with intelligence just for now, just for the sake of this. And secondary tells you what all that stuff is. Now your inventory has got an auto sort, which is great, and eventually you level up and you start, as you go through the story, you start unlocking additional backpack space. So eventually you actually get a pretty good backspace and lots of places to put things where it kind of stinks in the beginning, but then it gets better as you go on. So we have that now. And then to set an ability, you just right click on it, and let's see, we'll just do this. And there you go, I have a wolf now that can run around. And admittedly, wolves are really helpful at low level, and the pet classes are awesome at low level. And this, as it levels up, will give you more. So currently I can only have, I think, 1 out at a time. But eventually you can get more at a time. And one thing that's actually kind of cool, which you can use in this game, is you'll find these shrines, which you might not have recalled it, but there's a couple back here, like this one right here. Sometimes you find one called the Shrine of Mastery, and what that does is it increases all your abilities. So it's worth at that point, as soon as you get it, to, if you have pets that grow with a higher level, to bring them all out at once, because you'll be able to have higher level pets and they'll stick around. Like once that buff goes away, they're not going to take away your pets, they'll actually stick around. So it's kind of a cool way of exploiting the thing. And this game is more linear. It's not so open world. You pretty much follow these paths. They have a lot of discovery that you can still do, like little dungeons and hidden places that are worth kind of exploring, checking out. Go get him, wolf. Get him! Fight! Fight the boar! And so there's some discovery elements, but really it's not so much in the open world. But the story is great. And it's okay. And as you go through the game and you start new classes, you want to try something, it gets faster and faster each one. Which is the last thing I want to bring up before I actually close out this video, is when you actually go here to escape in your options menu. This is awesome. They have this game speed, right? And I've been doing it on fast. So it'd be advisable if you're kind of a beginner to maybe go normal. It's a little bit slower and gives you more time to respond to situations. But if you're really just trying to fly through things and get to a point and like get a character level up as quickly as possible, you have multiple ways of doing this. So, for example, go to very fast. Everything is way quicker and more responsive. And so as you're running around,
leave if you must.
yes, okay.
Please
Let me out.
turn back.
So I'm going to show you this real quickly, and I'm going to show you like normal.
You're leading the flux home. They jumped out.
So you get an idea of what you're looking at when you're going through this, because it's cool. And I find that with range classes, it's actually almost better to go with the faster speed, just because it can be a little slow at casting spells at times. There's a Shrine of Thorns. Sadly not Mastery, but that's alright. Alright, so here's that. Now I'm going to swap it back to normal so you kind of get an idea of the difference in that. So you were watching me do very fast, and you see everything's just kind of more sluggish. Your attacks are more, pinpoint, and they actually do have neat little animations as you're attacking in this game that you can see. Like if you run into someone, the guy will maybe like do like a little jump to stab the guy, and you can they have cool little animations. So they might lack in some areas such as the open world, but it's actually got a really cool benefits, and it is a fun game. And the armor eventually unlocks that you get is beautiful looking. It's actually really amazing. They put a lot of time and effort into actually the different looks and stuff that you find in this game, and I can appreciate that in a game. So I think that's pretty much all I'm going to cover for tonight. Just to wrap this game up again, the biggest things for this is like it's more of an open class game. where you kind of pick and choose between those, you know, eventually your one skill at first, but eventually 2 skills. And ultimately, you could pretty much use any weapon that you want in the game. There'll be certain trees that'll cater towards one or the other. So, you know, bear that in mind. But ultimately, you can pretty much do whatever. Like, I can't dual wield, though. That's the only thing. Like, that requires a very specific class setup to be able to dual wield. But if I want to use a two-hander, if I want to use a staff as this guy, I can use a two-hander, I can use a staff, or I can use a spear and a shield, or, you know, just a straight dagger in one hand and nothing else in the second. So you can go forward and do that. And the plot in this game, the story is awesome, and it's really well done. The scenery is beautiful, and it's a little bit faster paced game ultimately in the end. So each game has a lot to offer, and they're both really fun games, but I just want to give you a little bit of how's it play so you can kind of go out and make that choice for yourself. And I believe that's all I have for tonight, so I hope that you all have a wonderful Sunday evening, and I will talk to you all later. Good night!